Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Advanced Crystal Beasts Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for March 2019. But actually wanting to do a deck profile that focuses more on the Rainbow Dark Dragon and the Advanced Crystal Beasts field spell. For those of you that don't know, we had in the anime for GX the Advanced Crystal Beasts, which were dark versions of the original Crystal Beasts monsters. We never got those. We had a field spell that makes all the Crystal Beasts dark monsters on the field and graveyard. And I just wanted to kind of work together a deck that could implement using the Rainbow Dark Dragon with all the new Crystal Beast support and the Advanced Dark field spell. I like the results I got. Works pretty consistently for getting out your main monster, which is the Rainbow Dark Dragon. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So to start off for the monsters, I figured we'd begin with the main monster in the deck, which is the Rainbow Dark Dragon. This card's always treated as an ultimate crystal card, and it cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summon from your hand by banishing 7 dark monsters with different names from your graveyard. You can banish all other dark monsters from your field and graveyard, and this card gains 500 attack for each card banished this way. So with the Crystal Beast deck, I wanted to use all the Crystal Beasts, obviously, to work together with the field spell, which is Advanced Dark, which we'll get to later on with the spells, but also just being able to use a couple other dark monsters together just to have different numbers that can be reached for Rainbow Dark Dragon, since unlike Rainbow Dragon, you don't need Crystal Beasts, you just need dark monsters. But I wanted to make a variant that used the Crystal Beasts, just like Jesse when he was possessed by Yubel in the anime, of course, for the most fun version of the deck, I would say, for sure. 2 of this only, though. Most of the times with the other cards I'm running and just the consistency to get 7 different named monsters in the graveyard, I found 2 to be the best numbers. Plus we have some search options in the deck as well to get this card to your hand faster. I also run for the Crystal Beasts lineup 3 Sapphire Pegasus, just with the fact that this card can add a Crystal Beast to the spell and trap card zone when it is summoned. Gives you plenty of options just to get them to the field and then to the graveyard faster, which is another big part of the deck. I wanted to have Crystal Beasts that could, quickly set up in the graveyard, unlike the Rainbow Dragon. Rainbow Dark Dragon has to have them set up in the graveyard, so getting them into the graveyard and less on the field was one thing I wanted to focus on for sure. But getting them into the spell and trap card zone with Sapphire Pegasus does set up for other cards like Rare Values, which gets them in the graveyard faster also. Same goes for Ruby Carbuncle, 3 of this as well. Just the 2 best Crystal Beasts, I would say, in the deck. And aside from the Rainbow Dark Dragon plays, I do still want some consistency with other plays possible if I need to go into the extra deck. Ruby Carbuncle and its special summons just give me more options to link monsters or exceed monsters, which in turn, when you send them to the graveyard, you can set up for some other plays. And going for other different dark monsters in your extra deck as well definitely does come in handy. And then for the other Crystal Beasts, I run 2 Topaz Tiger, just a more offensive one with the 400 attack gain when it attacks for a 2000 attack monster. Definitely does come in handy when I'm going for just plays on the field against my opponent's monsters. And then for the rest of them, I just decided to play so 1 Amethyst Cat, 1 Amber Mammoth, 1 Cobalt Eagle, and 1 Emerald Tortoise. I don't really use their effects as much when they come up. They definitely are helpful, but they're just there for the different Crystal Beast options to go into, and altogether they are 7 different Crystal Beasts. So if I can use, Sapphire Pegasus and Ruby Carbuncle quickly to get these cards on the field, graveyard, you name it, and then I can go for the Rainbow Dark Dragon play that much faster as well. And for the other dark monsters I run the deck, I run 2 Summoner Monk. Now this card in the deck definitely does come in handy. Not so much when I was going for the Rainbow Dragon version, since it kind of took up the Crystal Beast spots, and I decided to leave the Pendulum Scale monsters in for those plays. But not so much in this deck, since I find that just the generic dark lineup definitely does help more with your plays. Summoner Monk just being able to special summon out the monsters faster, being a dark monster himself can also help count for Rainbow Dark Dragon's requirements. Depending on if maybe you're just 1 Crystal Beast short, you can have Summoner Monk cover for that 1 monster requirement. And then lastly, I also run, just for a little more extra support, 2 Necroface. If this card is normal summon, you shuffle all banished cards into the deck. This card gains 100 attack for each card shuffled into the main deck by this effect. And if this card is banished, each player banishes 5 cards from the top of their deck, or their entire deck if less than 5. So this just really helps with the fact that Rainbow Dark Dragon can banish, all of your monsters. So being able to recycle them back into the deck with Necroface definitely does help, just to reuse your plays for other cards. So having 2 of this for the normal summon just gives you that consistency to not, run out of monster options with the deck. And lastly, for the monsters, I run 2 Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This card, for the Banish Dark effect, just helps for the fact that you have another backup option to Rainbow Dark Dragon in terms of, setting up your graveyard with monsters. And I also run Melody of the Awakening Dragon, which, just helps for Dragon Search. And I didn't just want to have Rainbow Dark Dragon be the only card to rely on for that spell, in case I already, draw it in my hand, just to have more search options available. So just having Levianeer, which requires, either 3 light or 3 dark and 3 dark, depending on, what you go for its special summon, definitely does come in handy. And that is it for the monsters. Like I said, I find just this consistent lineup to work very, very well when you're setting up your graveyard for the 7 different dark monsters. But for the spells, our main card that the whole deck revolves on is Advanced Dark. With this one, all Crystal Beast monsters on the field and in the graveyard become dark. If an ultimate crystal monster attacks, negate the effects of the attack target during the battle phase. And during damage calc, if a Crystal Beast monster you control battles and you would take damage, you can send 1 Crystal Beast monster from your deck to the graveyard. You take no battle damage from that battle. So Advanced Dark not only gives you perfect attack combinations with your Rainbow Dark Dragon, it makes all the Crystal Beast monsters on the field and the graveyard dark. So it's a key part of setting up your graveyard for your Rainbow Dark Dragon, since it turns them into all the advanced Crystal Beasts. And being able to send Crystal Beasts to protect your Crystal Beasts just gets them in the graveyard faster for more, banish requirements. And then for more of the Crystal Beast support, I run 3 Rainbow Bridge. It just adds 1 crystal spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So you can search out mostly any of the spells you need in the deck for your plays. Another one being Crystal Bond, just another quick and easy setup with this card by adding a Crystal Beast monster from your deck to your hand and placing one with a different name from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone as a continuous spell. You can activate 1 Crystal Bond per turn, but you can search it off of Rainbow Bridge, so just another easy benefit there. And then just getting quicker monsters into the graveyard to use with other cards, one of them being Rare Values. I didn't actually use this card in my pure Crystal Beast deck, but that's more because I could rely on the Crystal Beast on the field, the spell and trap card zone, and the graveyard. But, with this deck, and like I've said multiple times already in the video, Rainbow Dark Dragon just needs, those monsters in the graveyard, more beneficial there. So with Rare Values, if there are 2 or more face-up Crystal Beast cards in your spell and trap card zone, your opponent chooses 1 Crystal Beast card in your spell and trap card zone, sends it to the graveyard, then you draw 2 cards. And it's not a once per turn, so if you open up another Rare Values and you have plenty to use in the spell and trap card zone, you can just use another one, setting up the graveyard, and consistently drawing through the deck, grabbing more beneficial and important cards you need. And then I lowered some of the other numbers. I only run 1 Crystal Beacon and run 1 Crystal Promise. You could search this card with Rainbow Bridge for both of them. And I didn't run Crystal Blessing just for the fact that it recycles from the graveyard, which goes against what the deck is trying to do altogether. But, just that easy special summon for both of these cards can help when I'm just needing more setup with cards like, let's say, Sapphire Pegasus for sure. And I was speaking of the card earlier, but I also run 2 Melody of Awakening Dragon. You discard 1 card and add up to 2 Dragon-type monsters with 3,000 or more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. So just having that option, Levianeer and also Rainbow Dark Dragon both meet that requirement for this card. You could discard your Crystal Beasts to set them up in the graveyard, get your search for the dragons you want instead of having to draw into them. And depending on on how many cards are in your graveyard, you can either go for Levianeer, and then, you know, hopefully you have the different dark monsters as well to get out Rainbow Dark Dragon. This search just definitely does come in handy to get those dragons into your hand faster. And I also run, to finish up the spells, 2 Terraforming. Now, just quicker ways to get to the most important card of the deck. Obviously, we run max of Advanced Dark, but you just want faster ways to get it so you can get it onto the field faster also. And then for the traps, I run 1 Ultimate Crystal Magic. This is a fusion option by sending 7 Crystal Beasts with different names from your hand, deck, and or face up from the field to the graveyard to special summon 1 Ultimate Crystal Fusion monster, which we also run in the extra deck, but just the 1 though. You have other ways of getting out, example, tributing Rainbow Dark Dragon, so I feel you only really needed 1 for that easy option. Other than that, most of the time they'll either be out of the deck and then you have to rely on Necroface to put them back after you banish them. And I also run 2 Crystal Conclave, just another good defensive continuous trap by special summoning other ones and then targeting one you control and one on the field to return them to the hand to reuse these effects for. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. I run 2 Rainbow Overdragon. It counts as a ultimate crystal card, and it must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing 1 level 10 ultimate crystal monster, in which case you do not use polymerization. You have shuffleback effects ready to go with this card, and Rainbow Dragon also does count as an ultimate crystal card, so you can even just tribute this card for Rainbow Overdragon if need be for this fusion option. And then for the rest of the extra deck, I tried to stay as generic as I could, but I also tried to run a good variety of different dark monsters, just because of the fact that, you know, different ones in the graveyard can definitely help just for more easy special summons. So 1 Dark Rebellion for more of the other generics, 1 Baguska, 1 Utopia the Lightning, and Utopia. Even if you get these light ones in the graveyard, they can be, you know, banished for Levianeer. Also 1 Abyss Dweller and 1 Tornado Dragon. For rank 3s, I run 1 Breaksword and 1 Leviaire. You have plenty of other, you know, level 3 options to go into with this deck as well. Amethyst Cat, Tortoise, and Carbuncle, which is why I like to run the 2 rank 3s. And then for the Link monsters, I run 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice, another dark monster, which definitely does help with the recycling in the graveyard. And also 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and also 1 Topologic Trisbana, and 1 Borolo, just for 2 more dark options for the attributes as well. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Definitely do give this deck a shot. The more I built it, the more fun it just sounded. More I wanted to test out different monsters as well, but this was the mix I found to be the most fun and work the best, just to complement the Crystal Beast monsters also. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.